Hello and welcome. In this movie, we will show you how to use the automated curation tool using one field only. In the main window of BioloMICS, we will first do a query to get all the records, or strains in this case, that have at least one ITS sequence attached. Over 30,000 records are found and those will be used for the tool. To open the tool, go to Other Tools and click on the Automated Curation button. A pop-up wizard will be opened, and in the first page there is a short explanation about the two ways to use this tool, based on one field, which we will explain in this movie, and based on multiple fields. In the next step, we will therefore select the one field only option. Click next to continue. Then we will select the field that will be curated. In this case, we will use the ITS sequence field. On the right, you can set some extra parameters for the selected field. In the next step, the remaining options are set. First, the field to group the records. Here we will group the records by taxon name, so each taxon name will have an own report in the end. Then, a basic hyperlink can be added. This will be used to activate the hyperlink on the items in the tree. The basic hyperlink will be concatenated with the specific item to see its details. Check this box to show the UPGMA tree section in the final report. Decide here if the selected field to curate should be included in the tree. This will always be the first column of squares. Extra fields can also be added to the tree. Each field will have an own column. Here we will add 2 extra fields, so 2 extra columns. The last column is always indicating the cluster. Check this box to show the multidimensional scaling in the final report. The next one is to include the similarity matrix or not. Then the statistics. The cluster section can be activated and some extra options are part of it. The minimum similarity to initiate a new group. It is between 0 and 1. The default is 0.95, which means that when the sequence is more than 5% different from the others, then it will be placed in a separate cluster. Also indicate the number of records to start a group. The default is 1. Check this box to show the histogram of similarity distributions in the final report. For each taxon name in this case, a report will be created. Provide the path where to store those reports. At section number 3, decide whether to tag the sequence data, meaning to show the score for low quality. Decide what is the minimum length of the sequence to have it included in the analysis. The default is 100, so if the sequence is shorter than 100 characters, it will be excluded. Also set the percentage of unknown characters to include in the analysis, so the non-ATCG. So if the percentage of non-ATCG present in the sequence is higher than the provided value, then it will be excluded. Finally, select the field in where the score should be written. In the next step of the wizard, we start analyzing the records. Click on the Start button. It will first load the selected records. Then it will check each sequence for its length. If it's too short, then it will be excluded and it will get a score of -2. Finally, it will analyze the clusters, based on the taxon name in this case. The results are displayed in the grid. Here we show the record name and then the matter-width sequence. The matter-width is the one with the smallest distance to all other points in the same species. Here are the number of clusters for that species and the number of total records. Also the number of bad and short sequences are indicated, together with more details in the next columns. When you double-click on a given row, the report will be opened. Depending on the sections that were checked in the wizard, the results are displayed. So here we see first the statistics, which show the same details as we just saw in the grid before. The statistics can be copied to clipboard if preferred. So in this case you see that for this species 3 clusters were found containing 11 records in total. This is the Meadow-it sequence, and there were no short or bad sequences. The cluster section displays all the clusters of this species with its records inside. So here we have 3 clusters. The red dot indicates the meadow-it of this species. The UPGMA tree section shows the results in the tree. The first column of squares indicate a curated field, in this case the ITS sequence field. The next 2 columns indicate the 2 extra fields that were selected in the wizard. When the square is gray, then there is no data for this record in this field. The last column indicates the cluster. Each cluster has its own color. The dot indicates the meadow-it. And if a basic hyperlink was given in the wizard, then the text would be clickable and redirecting to another page with more information about that item. The similarity matrix shows the similarity between each of them. The red dot indicates again the meadow-it. In the section Distribution of Similarity Frequencies, you can see the number of items that were having a given similarity. The details are shown when you hover the mouse on top of the bars. The last section is the 3D scatter plot of cluster. Here the items are colored by cluster and the mouse can be used to turn it around to see the results from another angle. When we now go back to the wizard, columns can also be dragged on top of the grid to get a better overview. So here, for example, it is easy to see which species names are having 6 or 7 clusters. Then click on the Next button to complete the wizard, and therefore the analysis. When the tag option was checked, then the scores can be found in the provided field. Here we can see all the scores per sequence. Please see the note to see how the scores are calculated. Thank you for watching.